Vajiraman and Ravi has been still there even during my mains preparation, during both my attempts 2023-24. I started my preparation in 2018 here as a foundation batch student, and finally I'm again back here 6 years later. The life has come full circle finally. I post-graduated actually in year 2018. After that I came to Vajiraman Ravi, as the name has always been there, where I was completely clueless कि क्या करना है क्या नहीं. And that year I think, ये join किया test series मैंने, and we had those regular feedback sessions.
GS
we had GS. I was enrolled for the GS thing. I had that regular feedback session after every copy that was checked. We had those mentoring sessions going on. So उससे पता चलता था what is wrong, where I should add on, what is the changes I need to make, etc. So it went like that, and I really scored good in GS. Last year also it was 435 marks in GS 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, so I am Subhendu Ghosh. I secured All India rank 3 in this year's ISS examination. So today I want to share my experience and my preparation strategies for this examination. So coming to the point, that first I want to brief about the examination itself. So the Indian Statistical Service Examination is conducted annually by UPSC. So it is a golden opportunity for statistic-based students to serve government and the ministries associated with it. And roles and works are in this service is implementing your statistical knowledge in governmental policies. We have to implement programs through data-driven mechanisms. So these are the things which are related to the service. Now coming to the exam, so Indian Statistical Service Examination is conducted every year generally in the third Friday, Saturday and Sunday of each year, the written examination, and thereafter the selected candidates went through the interview phase. Now regarding the marks divisions, so the total marks of the examination is 1200. Among them 1000 constitutes of the written portion and the remaining 200 from the interview. In the written there are 6 papers. In first there are General English and General Studies, 100 marks each, and there are 4 papers of statistics, 200 each, 2 subjective and 2 objective. Now coming to my strategy, it was my second attempt. In my first attempt I came close, and I gave the interview, but I couldn't clear the entire exam. So this was my second attempt. So if I go paper by paper, so the first topic is the General English paper. So it is I want to clarify that all the papers are both qualifying and their marks also gets adds. And the qualifying cutoff of each paper is dynamic, which was set as 20% this year, and which was 15% last year. So 20% means that each candidate have to score at least 20 in the GS and GE and at least 40 in the stat papers. Then his other marks would be summed up, and then he will be called for the interview accordingly. Okay, so coming to the GE portion. So in the GE portion we have mainly writing and grammar. So in the grammar we have the word corrections and sentence corrections. As any standard grammar book I follow Dren and Martin, it's sufficient for the grammar portion, and the important thing in the English paper is that we have to practice the writings more and more we practice, more and more our fluency of writing will increase. The small mistakes which we usually make in grammar in a, say for a large essay, that would be reduced if we practice thoroughly. And again we have if a candidate is a regular newspaper reader, then also it helps a lot in writing as well, because some word the vocabulary increases as well as the grammatical errors also reduces. So the GS portion is a very vital topic in the context of the exam, because I have seen many candidates as well as many of my friends who are excellent in statistics, but they fail to secure the cutoff marks in GS, and hence they are eliminated. So the 20 marks or 15 marks whatever may be, we can keep 20, 25 as the safe cutoffs. We have to secure that, and the GS paper is very much difficult. It consists of 20 questions of 5 marks each, and it should be very much clear that we don't if you don't know at that topic thoroughly, and you just know the name of the thing, and you thought that you could write whatever you like in the 1.5 pages, then I should make you absolutely clear that you would get 0 marks. And the answers should have content, because it is a UPSC exam and the content is more important than the size of the answer. So GS topic we have to cover thoroughly. In GS part, there are the 20 questions are divided in 4 sections. First section is of history. In history, as we all know, there are 3 parts of the timeline: the ancient, medieval and the modern. The ancient history, you can take any standard book of Poonam Dalal Dahiya or R.S. Sharma are good books. In the medieval part, I followed Satish Chandra, and in the modern, you can take Spectrum by Rajiv Ahir, that is a classical book. So we have to and history is one of the safer aspects in the GS, I can tell, because it is quite predictable than the other parts. Then comes the geography. The geography is a high scoring portion in the GS part. In the ISS mainly we have questions from physical geography, that is only centric to India. For example, role of forest in climate of India, role of Himalayas in context of Indian climate, so like that. And moreover, there are also case studies like questions, and also there are 1 or 2 current affairs questions, because as we all have seen in last year, there were many forest fires in California as well as in Australia. So we have a question related to forest fire this year as well. So current affairs questions are also common in geography, and otherwise it is case sensitive questions. The third part is polity. The polity contains 5 questions, and in polity the first 4 questions come from core polity, and the 5th question comes from international relations. So in polity, everyone knows that M. Lakshmikant is the best book available, so you can go through that, but no need to thoroughly go through. The previous years are available for this exam, so you can shortlist the topics which are important from the polity, and then can read only through that. The other part is consists of a ransacking of questions. It consists of current affairs, it consists of questions from economics, from government policies. So for this part, the current affairs is very much important. If a student has a regular habit of reading newspaper, and if he doesn't, he have to read newspaper, and in newspaper we don't have to read where a person died or what, not news like that. We have to only select, suppose for example, an important topic in climate change, important international news, or an important government policy, or in the business section the important shift in the policies. So these topics are to be focused in the newspapers. Reading newspaper is a very critical art, and if you cannot master it, then you will spend a lot of time reading newspaper and cannot memorize a single thing. So we have to skeptically read the newspaper in that. And the other questions are the government policies. We have the Ujjwala scheme this year, the Ayushman Bharat was the last year. So it should be kept in mind that the questions the schemes of the governments which having 5 years or 10 years, 15 years are more important than the other schemes. And we also have to see the context based. If government is supporting one scheme, then you have to cover that well. So these things we have to keep in mind in the GS portion. And again the current affairs is very much important, because in the polity sections there are also questions for current affairs, in the geography sections there are also questions for current affairs, and in the 4th section there are also questions for current affairs. So reading newspaper is a crucial thing. Now coming to the 4 stat papers. The stat 1 and 2 are objective papers. But in it mainly consists of statistical things, mainly descriptive statistics, not that much of mathematical statistics. In stat 2 there are official statistics. So since you are giving the ISS exam, since you are willing to work with the government, so you have to be very much clear and have to have a good knowledge about the government, the statistical system of the government. So official statistics portion is very much important, and it is also very much scoring. So you have to read that thoroughly. And in the first paper 1 of the stat, there is a computer science portion. So I can suggest the E. Balaguraswamy's book is a very important, very good source in the computer portions. So in the objective papers, one thing is key that you have to answer all 80 questions, and there are only 2 hours of time. So time management is a very key thing. If in the statistics questions, if one particular question is having takes lots of calculation, taking lot of time, leave it. If you leave 1 or 2 questions, then it is okay. But if you spend more time in one question and thereafter your time ends up and you cannot do 10-20 questions, that would be a very much detrimental. So one should be very much conscious about the time spent in each questions. And moreover, in a objective paper, the practice is very much key. So if you practice more and more times, and there are previous year questions are there, model questions are also there, and again you can find standard statistics MCQs from here and there. So lots of sources are there. So if you practice, then what it will make, it will not only make you fast regarding the questions, you should also see many MCQ questions that you already know the answer before even calculating. So that things helps, and it saves a lot of time, because in MCQ questions I personally was unable to finish the paper 1, attempt all 80 questions in paper 1. The time management is very key in the MCQ part. So what I am saying that in MCQ practice is the key. Now comes the descriptive subjective papers, paper 3 and paper 4. Paper 3 has an elaborate syllabus. It consists of sample survey, it has time series, it has index number, it has demand analysis, it has GDP calculations, it has many topics as well. So it is the most difficult and I guess the least scoring topics of the all 4 stat papers. So one has to rigorously go through each and every topic. See, you may think that you could leave the one topic separately and there are options in the questions you can attempt from that portion. That is, you may think like that, but that not how it works. Because if you follow the previous year questions, you can see that there are 8 questions of 25 what you have to attempt. In the first 2 you have to attempt 2, and then in the remaining I guess 9 questions or 8 questions you have to attempt 6 questions out of them. So but in each question of 25 marks there are for example 10 marks of sample survey, 10 marks of time series, 10 marks of index number, 5 marks of index numbers or demand analysis. So you cannot entirely leave a topic so you have to very much conscious. Yes, moreover there is also econometrics. So leaving a topic completely is a very dangerous choice. So you have to focus on covering all the topics. Yes, in sample survey, suppose you say that I am not confident or I don't have time of the interpreting subsampling part, so I can leave that. That small things you can do, but you cannot say I am not good at sample survey, I am leaving entire sample survey. That is not the way. Okay. So there are books for this. I can suggest fundamental books are good. Fundamental statistics by Gun Gupta and Das Gupta. There is also Gupta Kapoor, and in each topic there are also specialized books. In sample survey you can suggest to Cochrane. In time series, especially in the stationary part, you can take the Brockwell Davis. In econometrics, Gujarati's book is good, and if you want some advanced econometrics knowledge, you can also see the William Green book. So these things have to be, each and every topic have to be treated as a separate paper and have to be thoroughly covered up. In stat 3 this is mandatory. Now coming into the stat 4 portion, there are choices of topics. I think 7 or 8 topics are there, and you have to attempt only any two of the topics. What I suggest and what I have followed over both of my attempts, that I used to cover 3 topics. Because if the exam board is giving you options, and if you are going prepared only 2 topics, then you are reducing your options. Yes, I think you can think you are a very good student. Yes, you may be a very good student, but there may be a question that is too lengthy or maybe too difficult to attempt. So if you have prepared 3 topics, you can leave that one topic and attempt the other 2. And if all 3 are good, then you have the choices, you can do whatever. For me, this time I have prepared multivariate design of experiments and statistical quality control. I found that design of experiment is bit tougher side, so I left it. I have attempted multivariate and the SQC questions, and this part is a good scoring topic. So you have to maximize your marks over these paper 4, because in yes, MCQs are also a good source of marks, but paper 4 is also a very good source of marks. And in both the subjective papers, I want to clear that the ISS examination, the question repeats the subjective questions. You can see that if you thoroughly gone through the previous year questions, you can see multiple questions are repeated throughout the years. So doing the previous year questions explicitly will help you, and not only help you, even that question directly comes same as the previous questions. So that thing you have to keep in mind, and you have to practice. Yes, practice is the most keyword in this exam. Here you will not find very difficult mathematical questions which is unsolvable, or you have to make your judgment, make your answer on that spot. I have cleared the ISI MSTAT entrance, so in that scenario we had difficult questions which no reference of previous things, and we have to entirely do that in the on spot. But in ISS the situation is not like that. You have to practice. The syllabus is vast, you have to cover the syllabus, you have to spend time on the exam, you have to write, you have to thoroughly go through all the topics, and not only going reading but also writing. What I can suggest that you can entirely write the content of the each topic. By content I am not telling that whatever written in the syllabus. I mean, for samples, if you take sample survey, you can entirely write all the important theorems, proofs, maybe some popular questions, examples of SRS, systematic sampling, two-stage sampling, cluster sampling, double sampling, ratio regression, all the proofs, all the properties. You completely write that. Then again practice that. So this is how it works. It is not so simple that you will read and you will go to the exam hall and you will write by your memory and it will be good. Yes, you can do that, but the competition is tough, and all of us they are doing the same thing. So why? How do you think that your marks would be boosted? So you have to be very much perfect about in every answer, and that is the key, and for that perfection you need practice. So this is what about the written part. Now comes the interview. So interview is a very key aspect of this examination, and so a good interview, a student with a not so good marks just clear the written with a very good interview score has a very good chance of selection, and even a student with high written marks with a very poor interview is will find himself miserable. This year I have scored 156 marks in interview, which is a good marks. In interview, the one thing is good about interview, that after written exam you will get months of time for preparation of the interview. So interview takes place in a UPSC Bhavan, and the panel consists of 4 members usually. Among them the chairperson asks mainly non-technical question. Non-technical, I mean not related to statistics questions, that may be related to your state, that may be related to your district, that may be specific to your name, and even if you are working in somewhere, questions are also asked related to that. I have been asked many questions related to my state, West Bengal. So in interview these things have to be kept in mind. You have to cover up all those things which are related to you, your name, your home, your occupation, your district, your state, everything. The other 3 members usually ask statistical questions. In statistical questions, one important part which shouldn't be neglected is the official statistics part, because in interview the board thoroughly asks related to official statistics questions. They sometimes also ask about the figures. What is the inflation rate of this year? What is the India's GDP? What is the rank of India in GDP? What is the value of GDP in nominal? What is the real value of GDP? So all these questions can be, even the mathematical figures can also be asked. So and there are also analytical questions like that. If you are pressurized by your senior for manipulated data, would you do such? So you have to go prepared with these things. And again, there are also statistical knowledge based questions. But one thing you should keep in mind, that board is very much cooperative. No need to panic. If one doesn't know the answer of a question, and he can simply tell the board that I am not confident enough of the topic, you can ask me from different topic. That I can make sure that gives no bad impression. You can always do that, because there are many topics and it is not feasible for a candidate to prepare all those topics in the day of interview and give every answer. So you must be comfortable with you, and a candidate must keep in mind that the interview is not a knowledge test, it is a personality test. So how you give your answer, the approach you follow, the confidence you have while answering, as well as your dressing in that interview day matters very much. Moreover, the knowledge. One may know, give all the answers, and he can, but he is very much underconfident. He can stumble while answering. That gives a very bad impression. And while the second boy who doesn't cover all the topics, but he is confident about what he knows, and he confidently gives the answer. If he doesn't know a topic, he politely says that, sir, I haven't covered the topic, or I forgot the topic, or that topic was not taught to me in my graduation or masters. So he usually gets better marks. So it is a complete personality test. You don't have to answer all the questions, but you have to answer the questions perfectly, and don't give any misinformation, because the very knowledgeable persons are there and they will track you down, and you will find a very dangerous spot in the rest of the interview. So interview, you have to plan accordingly and have to do the preparation accordingly. Now, one important and crucial step is that when the form fill up takes place, it is this year, I think it was in February, March. So it also may be sometimes in April, May also. So in form fill up, there are sections regarding your hobbies, your extracurricular achievements. So you have to be very much sensitively fill those fields, because if you clear the written exam and if you got a chance in interview, those are the places from where the questions should be asked. So there is if you are not confident in one thing, there is a common the hobby is that whether a boy plays or not, he says I play cricket. Then there is a good chance, if you qualify for interview, you will be asked thorough questions regarding cricket, and if you cannot answer them, it will give a very bad impression. So the hobbies and extracurricular activities, the positions of responsibilities, these are the fields that could be that has to be filled in the DAF, the detailed application form, and in the and while application. So these things have to be filled very much cautiously. Questions are to be asked from here. So these are the things you have to tell about preparation. And now if I come to my story, so last year December the results came and I was short by few marks. So I was very much upset, but my family and friends were around me. They were always supporting me, and then I gathered up hope. Same for those candidates who haven't cleared this month, this time. So you have to gather your hope. See, there is no one coming to save you. You have to do it yourself. So don't waste your time while being remorse. Yes, it is quite natural to be sad, maybe 1 or 2 days, but then you have to pick yourself up. You have to check the mark sheet, in which topics you have scored the less, and what maybe the faults that can be modified, rectified in the next examination, and you have to prepare harder. If you cannot, what I thought, that whatever happens, I will score more marks in each and every paper than than what I have scored in last time. This was the idea I followed, and this year the time was better for me, and so I secured the rank. So if you cannot clear the exam in first or second or third attempt, see, this is UPSC exam, the stakes are high, so would be the difficulty. So you have to trust your ability, you have to make yourself patient, and then you have to again and pick your bags and do the study preparation once again. So, and for those who will be giving the exam for the first time, so there are 9-10 months still left for the exam. So if you are in doing masters, or if you are working, the GS portions have to be covered very much confidently, because I can assure you that if you have the GS and official statistics covered, the stat part would take about 1 or 1.5 months. That is enough for the statistics portion. But the other topics, GS, English, current affairs, you shouldn't dare to neglect them. So that things you have to cover well in advance, and if you are good enough to be qualified for interview, then you have to sketch your interview preparation accordingly. What is very much helpful in this type of exams, that if you have a study group along with yourself, if you have mates who are also preparing for this examination, it helps a lot. And I am fortunate enough to have such a bunch of people around me who also study for the same exam, so it helped me. Moreover, I also want to thank the for those who cleared the exam previous year, so mainly previous 2024 topper Sinchanda, AIA2 Biltuda, and Swati was also there, so they also helped me a lot in the preparation process. If similarly, if you need any further clarifications or any further advice, you can always tag me. I mean, they're available in LinkedIn, so I can tell you that I will help. So, but one thing is that you should be confident. Confidence is the key. You should be confident in interview, as well as you have to be confident in the written exams. See, giving the exams 3 days consecutively, some people have centers not close to their home, so you have to go, for example, for some you have to go out about 5 o'clock in the morning, and you will return about 9 p.m. in the evening, and then you have to repeat the same thing in the next day. So this is a very much tiresome task. So this is not an easy task, and moreover the exam pressure is also there. So these things are, so you have to well prepared even before a week of the examination. You have to be in such a stage that you can answer any question if you are asked. So that is very much crucial. And one thing I should make you that in the paper third day, paper 3 and 4, calculator is allowed, other days it is not allowed. So don't forget to take your calculator. I forgot that in my first attempt, and it has affected my marks significantly. So that thing you have to do, and the service, what I have got views from the seniors that it is very splendid jobs, serving the country at that topmost level. It is very much a good experience. The training process is also performed in top institutes of the country, so the experience would be very much good. The stakes are very high. So is that the exam. It is not a cakewalk. No examination of UPSC is a cakewalk, and however this is not such an impossible task that you should not dare to try it. The examination is simple if you break it into pieces and construct your preparation strategy accordingly. So this is what I have to say, and I also want to thank to the Delhi Knowledge Track platform to give me such an opportunity to share my preparation strategy, share my thoughts about the examination. And even when I was an aspirant, I used to follow their videos, and it helped me a lot shaping my strategy as well. So this channel is doing outstanding work regarding this, so I want to thank them. And for all the aspirants who would be giving the exam next year or the year after that, so you have to be courageous, you have to be confident, but don't be overconfident, and you have to cover all your bases because the examination syllabus is very much broad, so no topic can be neglected. So thank you.